I think this next playlist may be uh, breath breath techniques, not because they're all going to be kokyo nage, but I'm going to approach them from a kokyo point of view. So with that in mind, let's start with reverse breathing. Uh, I'm going to assume that you don't know anything about reverse breathing to begin with, although I rather expect a lot of you do, if not most of you. Um, in reverse breathing, the simplest thing that it means is when you breathe in, your body contracts in. So in breath goes in, as opposed to usually you think of in breath going out. So instead of the chest going out, the stomach comes in on the in breath and out on the out breath. So when the stomach comes in, it pushes against the lower back, and the lower back goes out. But the feeling is everything is coming in the front. And then the out breath, everything goes out. So that's what we mean by reverse breathing. So to do this, let's start with feet maybe a little less than shoulder width or shoulder width, and toes straight ahead, uh, but comfortable. So don't force it if that's not what your body does. Everybody stretches a little differently, and your your relaxed position may be different. Then you're going to center your weight on your feet. So just in the middle of the foot is what I mean, not on the ball of the foot, not on the heel, but straight down through the middle of the foot, front of the foot. And then, without moving the feet, because you're going to let the friction of the ground hold them in place, you're going to turn so that the heels come inward. They don't actually move, there's just some tension there coming inward. And when you do that, you should feel your butt tighten a little bit. So that squeezes the buttocks, squeezes the anus a little bit in and up. So it's not that I'm pulling my anus in and up, it's just what happens when I turn inward that way a little bit. And then starting at the very bottom, you're going to draw your breath in, and you want to feel your breath hit each vertebra on the way up your spine as you fill your breath, as you fill your torso with your breath. So as it goes up, as the breath comes in, you kind of stack it up this way and you feel it press against each vertebra on the way up, keeping that twist a little bit. So I'm actually breathing into the place that's got less room for air. So I'm pulling in as I breathe in against that bubble of air. And then when you breathe out, start at the top. And the out breath, it feels like everything is squeezed in and out. So if I squeeze the back to breathe out, the ribs will go against the spine this way. So again, there's going to be pressure against the spine all the way down. Both of those breaths straighten you up. So if I start out slumped over and I push against the spine, you can see the breath pushing against the spine straightens me up. Now if I take a deep breath and start slumped over and push out from the top, then my ribs will go to the spine this way, which also straightens me up. So here, deep breath in, and then emptying from the top down. straightens me up. So once I'm here, I just stay straight, so no actual movement happens, or not much actual movement happens. And I just breathe in each vertebra and out. And there's pressure against each vertebra, both of them straightening me up. So while it straightens me up, it doesn't do exactly the same thing, right? So the in-breath is going to create a little bow in the back, and the out-breath is going to create a bow in the opposite direction. Later on, you can eliminate that movement too, but for now, it's best to keep it there. For me too, it's, as it becomes more and more natural to you, the actual movement doesn't have to be there anymore. I still have to practice it. So do that for as many breaths as you have patience for. If you can do it for a minute, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever you can do. And then let's go to the same thing here. So now I'm going to be just a little bit wider stance. I'm going to take my post, tree, wall, whatever you've got, and just lay your hand on it. Sink down. So just try and relax as much as possible. And then again, I'm going to draw my heels in a little bit, closing my sphincter in the back. Pull your chin in a little bit, so we close the top off a little. And then do the same breathing. And this time, as the breath straightens me up, it's going to also lift my hand a little bit. So it's going to be lifting my tree straight up. What you want to avoid is pushing out. And after a while, you'll notice that it starts to push out anyway with the out breath. And then on the in breath, I try to just keep it going straight up. During all this, you can let your knees be kind of floating so that as everything draws in on the in-breath, the knees also draw in. And on the out-breath, as everything goes out, the knees also extend. So that follows exactly with the elbow and the feet with the hands. So even though I'm going down, the in-breath, this is going up. But I've got it on a wall, a tree, a post, something, so it doesn't actually move. So once that's comfortable, and it may take a week or however long it takes you, rest of your life, a day, a couple of minutes. But once it's more or less comfortable, you can start doing the next step, which is on the in-breath. I'm going to keep my hand against the tree, but have the feeling that it's pulling in, and have the feeling that it's stuck to the tree, so that the tree is kind of sucked in with my breath. So the feeling is, if I have something that actually moves, the feeling is that I breathe in and it goes up and in. I breathe out. You can either do it down or up, but let's stick with up and out. This way. So that's our reverse breathing practice, but nothing actually moves. So once you're comfortable with that, get some place where you can see a long distance, like here. So I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to put my hand almost exactly in view of something that's in the distance. And it can be, 10 feet away. I'm lucky I have mountains out there, and I pick a particular mountain peak and look at just the point of that. And I want to feel like I'm drawing that all the way in and back out. In and back out. So in and back out. In And you may have noticed I changed my view because I started doing it with both hands, the one on the tree and the free hand. So I changed my view to something that's between the two. This way. So that's the breathing practice, and I will do the technique that we're practicing from that in the next video. I think this one's getting too long already. I was planning on doing Kota Gais, but next time.